In this practice, we'll explore how actors create a shared experience with their audience of joy, comfort, catharsis, and epiphany through their performance, as supported by the set and setting, camera framing, and the story told. You can practice this with a scene from a film, show, a recorded play, or cut scenes from video games. Think of a scene that you like, something you would want to show another person and talk about. It should be about 2 to 5 minutes long for this practice. That'll be short enough to do multiple passes for each aspect that we're going to explore, but also long enough to explore a performance that tells a story. I have a scene from A Midsummer Night's Dream, a 90s Shakespeare movie, where Sam Rockwell does an amazing performance of Pyramus and Thisbe. If you've seen the movie, it's a great scene because it has tons of everything we're looking for here. Movement, expression, dialogue, and interactions between different actors. And it's nicely set, so think of those elements, and you can pause the video here to cue up something that you can use for this practice. You can also grab something to jot down some ideas, especially if you're using this practice to get some ideas to use in a creation of your own. And once that's queued up, we can just tune into this present moment by becoming aware of our posture. We'll make a nice stable base with the hips slightly above the knees on a cushion or a chair. We can allow the natural curves of the spine to arise from that. We can let tension fall out of the arms or even shake it out a little here, and then rest your hands on your legs or in your lap. We can let tension out of the face by doing some silly expressions, because we don't need a facial expression right now. And then let the gaze become soft, opening up to everything in the periphery. And we'll tune into the breath with all its many sensations, how it feels in our body on each inhale and exhale. Feeling how it changes the sensations that we feel in the body through its movement, how it brings in smells and creates soft sounds. There's no need to change the breath right now. Just tune into how it is in this moment. And finally, we can turn our attention to whatever we're using to play our scene. But we'll just pause for a moment here before turning it on and take note of how we're an actor in a set and setting. We have our set around us, and we're going to be acting this meditation. So we can start with the piece muted. That'll make the visual elements stand out better as we turn our attention to the set and the setting. So first, let's take notice of what kind of environment the actors are in, what the stage is set with. Since we're not watching the performance in its entirety yet, you can scan through. to take note of different environments if those change in different shots over the course of the performance. Now we can take note of any objects that have been placed in this scene to support the performance of the actors, and how they do that. Now we can do a quick head count of our troupe of actors. Is this a solo performance, a duo, a trio, or is there a bigger group of actors in this scene? How are the actors dressed? Are any pieces of clothing important to their performance? Now, look for the most striking element in the scene. What stands out the most visually? This could be part of the set or environment or an object used, or it might be one of the actors or many of the actors' bodies or faces. Now become aware of how the camera is framing all of this. Does that change over the course of the performance? Does it go from a further out shot to something tighter, or the other way around? Or is it there busyness or calm? How do the different shots and cuts and editing support this performance? Now we'll turn our attention over to the actors and their use of pantomime. So keep it muted still for this, because we really want to pay attention to the physical poses and the movements that the actors are using. Now, become aware of the facial expressions that they use. Look for how they may be mirroring other actors or contrasting them, or if it's a solo performance, how the expressions change over time. With repeating a scene over and over like this, mind wandering can certainly become an issue. If it does, just bring your attention back to the breath and reset for a few moments. Take some moments to take in what you've been noticing about this performance. And then when you're ready, you can move on again. Now that we've taken note of the visual elements, we can unmute the piece so that we can become aware of the dialogue. Try to make note of the different flavor each actor puts onto their role through their unique movements, expressions, and the ways that they deliver dialogue to create a unique character. Now we'll turn our attention to the shared experience the actors create with us, the audience. To begin with, what is the story that the scene tells? Is it entertaining? Likely it is, because we're watching it. So, how is it entertaining? Are the actors sharing joy by expressing that, or are they causing it through their performance? At any time, if you need to readjust your posture like I just did, feel free to do that. We can stay mindful of the breath, but also the posture during this practice. Does this piece share comfort in any way? Does it do that by showing us that something will be okay in the long run? Or by seeing someone get through something difficult? Or by just showing us a world where things are all right? Does the performance help us release any held emotions in a moment of catharsis? Often, this can happen if it's happening for the actor through our empathy and compassion watching them. Does this performance help us realize something, not just logically, but on a deeper level that we feel resonate within us as an epiphany? Not all performances will be able to cover all of these aspects, but likely you'll find story and entertainment in your scene, since you did pick one you like. The others can depend a little more on where you are in your life because, again, this is a shared experience. The performance, as captured on film, is static, but you aren't. So we can take a moment here to reflect on whether there was another time in your life where you would have found comfort, catharsis, or epiphany in this performance. And maybe ask, what was different then? For the people who create these works, your job is nothing short of entertaining your fellow beings in the least, and helping us all grow through our empathy, compassion, and understanding in the best scenarios. So, if you happen to be a screenwriter, director, or actor, you can extend your practice by contemplating what it is you're trying to create. You can choose a piece that somehow emulates or inspires your own creation, and go through each part, connecting the elements of set and setting, framing, acting performances, and the story all this tells to what you're trying to realize, as in make happen, make real. So, ask yourself, what about this would I want to emulate? How would this look in my creation? Now, to end off this practice, we can just simply take in what we've experienced in this session, letting ourselves feel anything that we've learned or discovered. We can let this be a felt sense, as in how we feel about it, for a little while before we start talking it out with ourselves. Then, we can make note of any points we'd like to explore further, or perhaps in another practice. Thank you for joining me.
Remember, that the only bad practice is the one you didn't do. So take a moment to feel some gratitude for the chance to practice today and for the efforts you put into it. Until next time.